So you think that things are going to get better in the future? You know, Africa is the future from your own perspective.
100%.
A lot of people consider out there is the land of opportunity, but you are back here in Africa, Zimbabwe.
It depends. Of course, in terms of stability, jobs, income, there are a lot of things that are better out there. But when you look at where we're going now, investments and building, I personally don't think there's a better place than home. I've looked at Australia, UK, Canada, different real estate opportunities because, well, we have a choice, but it doesn't make sense to do it anywhere else.
My question to you, Mr. Engineer, what went wrong with this project?
First of all, it was the planning. The builder or the contractor was supposed to engage the structural engineer or civil engineer.
Okay.
But since this house has been built on a mountain top, there are certain civil works that should be done for us to have a level base for the foundation.
So my brother, I want to ask, how is your stay so far in Zimbabwe? How is it?
It's been good. It's really good. It's been a bit of a learning curve coming a very different place. Doing business here, doing business overseas, people, lifestyle, culture, it's a very different place. Especially from when I left to coming back now. It's a bit like getting my bearings.
Are you planning to go back?
I'm not sure. That's something that I think I'll know in 6 months to a year's time. It's a beautiful house.
It is, yes.
It's a beautiful house, don't get me wrong. The things off the top of my head, one, it's split level. The plan was supposed to be ground level flat, but there's a 1.5 meter difference. There's stairs in the house. If you actually look right here, look at the difference between this side of the roof.
Huge difference.
That side of the roof. There's like, what, 20 bricks difference in the house, which is due to the difference in level. Waterproofing wasn't done correctly. We've got issues with waterproofing and whatnot. The roofing initially wasn't done correctly. If you look at the chimney there, the roof pitches straight into the chimney. So if it rains,
it's not supposed to be like that.
It's not supposed
it's
to be
like the chimney is supposed to be
higher than the roof. But it's a lot of some very basic, some actually very major problems.
When I'm looking at this whole situation, I think you were scammed.
Yes, and I'll explain stage by stage again from before. Okay, plans are done. We've confirmed the architectural plans.
Yes.
What's on the ground and what is on the plans?
Yes.
Two different things. That's the first thing. It's not radically different, but it's different enough that you can be like, these are not the same houses. When I look at the whole process from start to finish, I know what's required in a foundation, a structure, finishing the house. We don't have any soil test or reference to see how porous is the soil, how strong is the soil, does it need special foundations? These are things that, you know, if you're not here and you're not familiar with construction, are very easy to overlook, and it'll be like, everything's going fine. You get photos, you get videos. But if you don't know, it's a problem.
Are you saying that it's very important for you to be on the ground when you are building your dream house?
Being on the ground, in my honest opinion, makes a difference, but it doesn't make a difference unless you're familiar with construction. Because you can be on the ground here. A builder can tell you, we're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this. They'll skip stages. How are you going to know?
What have you noticed so far when it comes to young people? You have seen both worlds.
Again, I don't think I'm qualified to answer these questions. It's a very big question you're asking me.
It is.
But if I was to give an answer, I would say there's a lot to learn from the Western side to here and vice versa. And at the same time, it's hard for me to give advice to young people because I understand a lot of things or projects are very capital intensive. And not everyone has access to that capital, and that's something that I'm very aware of. So
thank you for mentioning that.
It's something that I've been, trying to think about. How can I actually give information that's relevant to people? Because where am I and this, it's not relevant to 99% of people, which is why I hesitated to answer the question in the first place.
That's very clever. The reason why I'm saying that, a lot of people want to start businesses in Zimbabwe or in Africa at large, but most of the businesses that can give back good returns, they're capital intensive. So if one comes out and say, people are sleeping on this, people should start businesses, we are not
Can
the
they
same.
afford it?
Yes.
It's the question now, can they afford it? Which is, a lot of the times, just no.
The house is big.
It's massive.
How many rooms?
It's 5 bedrooms, Each within 3 with an ensuite. It's about 500 square meters.
The reason why I'm saying you're clever, you're here, you're testing the waters. You started your own construction company.
Yeah.
How was it, starting a company from scratch? I mean, you've been here 8 weeks.
Very challenging, but very, very fun.
You are into real estate.
Of course.
Of all the projects that you could have done here in Zimbabwe, you chose real estate. Why?
I mean, no one can take a house from you. It's a static house, 1. 2, it's a solid long-term investment, whether it's for renting, for selling. If you look at the gap here between how much it costs to build a house and the markup you can put on when you sell, it just makes sense.
Are you not afraid to invest or start a project?
I mean, I think fear comes from not understanding something or not doing your due diligence or doing something you're not very well versed in, which I think learning, you always meet different people who can tell you different things and how to approach different things, and then that sort of gives me the peace and comfort to then, okay, let's start a large project. Okay, let's take on customers and then build something for them and see how that pans out. Okay. That's sort of how I approach it. But I understand why most people, especially in this country, would be hesitant to spend any money on anything, because we've been scammed. I've seen God knows how many people from diaspora. I think you hear stories.
It's a lot.
Spend 20, 30, 50,000 and then lose everything.
Yes.
It does happen.
It's scary, because at the end of the day, people have money to build houses back home, but they're scared to venture into these old projects. They're scared to build back home. What do you think should be done to solve these things that are happening in Zimbabwe where people are getting scammed? From your own perspective, you're into real estate. Is there a way to solve this?
I can't speak for how Zimbabwe will solve the problem. I don't think I'm the right person to answer that question.
Okay.
How I'll answer it with how we solved it for ourselves is a structure. To say, okay, when we're building a house, what stages do we need to go through? We've got pre-planning, construction, finishing and closing the house, and break that down into further stages. And having a tight understanding of, okay, from here, this is the next step. And then as contractors are going through that, having external review, which is engineer, architect. Every week, every 2 weeks, someone needs to come inspect it. Because who's completely independent from the builder that you have to see progress. If there's any feedback, things need to be changed and fixed. But that's the first starting point with understand the process from start to finish of whatever it is you're doing. Then understand who do you need to speak with or who needs to review the project as it's going along. Because if you're not a builder, you're not in construction. Luckily for me, I've got friends overseas. I've worked with companies overseas in construction. I've got friends that are engineers, are building companies. So we have oversight from overseas for all of our project as well as here. But if you don't have that to begin with, you are going to need a point of reference. There's no 2 ways about it. If you're building a house, don't listen to what anyone tells you. You're going to need your own independent engineer who goes, looks at it week by week. What's going on? When we go through this house, I'll bring out my engineers. I think I said it before, but I'll bring out my engineers, architects, and they'll show you everything that's wrong with the house, which if at the start we did have someone, we could have spotted earlier, but at that time, obviously being overseas, a lot was going on, we were planning on moving. It was just a bit like, okay, we thought we could trust the company we were working with, but obviously we couldn't.
So these windows, were they not supposed to be on the same level?
Yes, they're supposed to be on the same level.
But now there's a huge difference.
Yes, this is a toilet. Right?
This is a toilet.
The bathroom. We expect to see waste pipes coming out from almost the level of the foundation. But if you check now, the GPC level is on the window. Right?
So the pipes were supposed to come through here.
Yes, down actually. Because if you check, this is the actual depth of the window.
This is a big mistake. But are you guys improvising? How is it in terms of improvising to make things better? It's hard.
It can be done, can be corrected.
It can be corrected.
Yeah.
It can look perfect.
Yeah, it can be corrected.
A perfect mistake. But at the end of the day, I'm happy that these are mistakes that can be corrected, although they're permanent, but you guys can make them look good.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll try our best to make them look good.
Okay.
The lintel is on different levels, which is something that we do not expect to see on a normal structure.
Okay.
Like this one. Right. A perfect example is this side, this wing. As we all know, the rim beam's purpose is to hold the building together.
Yes.
So in this type of a situation,
Yes.
whereby it's on different levels, it's not serving its purpose.
So guys, what you see behind me is Hayden Park. Where are we and why this location?
We're in Hayden Park in Mount Hamden, one of Harare's most sought after locations. It's well placed. It's 5 minutes from the new Parliament,
Yes.
5 minutes from the Cyber City, 5 minutes from Westgate, and just off Old Mazoe Road.
How big is the land and how much?
Our stands start at 1,250 square meters and 38,500. But we don't sell just land.
Yes.
We sell ready to build packages. So that includes your borehole drilling, your architectural plans, your engineering, and everything you actually need to build a home.
I'm working with Crown to bring this development to life. If you want to be part of it, get in touch with me on the number that you see on your screen.